call Haloyamla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Racha Kodash, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Brakatah Racha Kodash, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Shalom and double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim wa Akwa. Shalom. I just wanted to make a quick video going into, I was reading Psalms 27 and 5, and it's a compact verse that kind of speaks in a broad sense on the end times and leading up to that salvation of the Israelites, the 1/3 elect. And I just want to go ahead. A lot of precepts came to my mind. I just want to go ahead and share, some precepts with you, and hopefully this video can be edifying. Excuse me. So from there, we'll go ahead and read Psalms chapter 27 and 5. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock. So we're going to break down this verse. So for in the time of trouble. So that trouble, if you've been around in the truth a little long enough, you know what that trouble is. That's Jacob's trouble. So we'll go ahead and go to Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. I'll go ahead and get in the app right here. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And that's the book of life, the elect of the Israelites. So in the end times, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be unlike a time ever been since there was ever a nation. So it's going to be the worst time in the history of mankind. And as the phrase go, things, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So it's going to get worse before it gets infinitely greater in the kingdom of heaven. That's going to deliver the elect Israelites in the chariots when the return of the Messiah. So it's going to be so bad till the top archangel, the war angel, underneath the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, going to return and bring this place down. All the heathen rulers that are ruling in wickedness, beginning with the chief of the heathen nations, the wicked, Esau Edom, so-called white man. So in that time of trouble, the elect Israelites will be redeemed out of that. So that was interesting how it broke it down in one verse here in Psalms chapter 27. And there's little nuggets here. And so in verse 5 again, for in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. And so also touch on Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Multiple precepts going into the time of Jacob's trouble. Psalms 91 and verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And jump on down to verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So, multiple levels here. The feathers is likened into what has feathers? Birds. What does birds do? They fly. And so the Most High is likening his spiritual vehicles in the skies, the chariots, so-called UFOs, let you know that the Most High is going to cover the elect with his chariots and protect. They're going to get beamed up into those chariots and be safe from the fire that's going to come down. and under the most and under the wings and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So the only way to get that um, covering of the chariots getting beamed up is through the truth, knowing keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, which is the truth of the Most High. And that's the only way, and being covered with the blood of Yahushua that come into the truth. And from there we'll go to Isaiah 31 and 5 to get a little bit more on those feathers. Isaiah 31 and 5. As birds flying, so will the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai of hosts. Host means armies. Defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it. And passing over, he will preserve it. So it's not going to be literal birds. Just like Esau and his military and weaponry, they refer to their Air Force aircraft as birds, the bird in the sky, the eye in the sky. Well, that goes into mainly, I guess, the satellites, but they reference fighter jets as birds as well. So those are carnal birds. The Most High got those spiritual birds, which are the so-called UFOs, the chariots, which have spiritual abilities. It can move in any direction and not make and the chariots in the sky don't make any sound. They're completely quiet in the sky, and we know when the fighter jet's coming, you can hear it. It's cutting through the air because these are carnal machinery. But the so-called UFOs are spiritual birds flying in the air. So from there we'll go to Revelation 15 and 2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. What's that sea of glass? What's that glass? It's the firmament in the heavens, above the heavens. It's the firmament spoken of in the book of Genesis that's in the air. So that's the glass firmament. And why it's going to be glass mingled with fire? Because the thermonuclear fire is going to be so intense, it's going to be so high and tall, and the fire is going to go extend all the way up to the firmament up there. So that's what that's talking about. Mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast. That's the elect. That's going to get the victory over the beast, which is the beast of Revelation, and that's that fourth beast, which is Esau, Edom, the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire revised is America. The beast had died when the Roman Empire fell. The Western Roman Empire fell around in the 400s AD. But then it got resurrected. The spirit of Rome got resurrected in America. So now America, that great whore, spirit is of Rome, and that's how Rome. Now that's that beast whom the elect got that victory over. So in them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image, and that's the image going into his philosophies and doctrines, and also Roman Catholicism and Christianity, which all spawned from it, and over his mark. That mark is the microchip, the RFID microchip. It's going to try to make everybody take that to be able to buy and sell in this new world order. And over the number of his name, that's the 666. That's the 2/3. You don't want to be in that number because you're going to receive that hellfire. That's going to be mingled with that glass. It's going to be that fire all the way up into the heavens. And over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. So the elect is going to get beamed up into those chariots, the spiritual birds, so to speak, and then they're going to be translated above the firmament, and they're going to have a bird's eye view of the fire that's going to be judging the wicked upon the earth and all those that are not in the book of life. And they're going to be having harps in their hands. What's those harps represent? It's time to party. It's time to celebrate, because they got the victory. Right now, we're in the house of mourning because we're in captivity still. We're not in the house of mirth yet, but we will be in the house of mirth, in the house of the Most High, once we got the victory and overcame this flesh and overcame Satan, devils and demons, and Edomites, whose coming is after the working of Satan, trying to tempt everyone to go down with him, with his wicked, sinful philosophies and brainwashing, brain pollution. So from there we go to Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. That's a buzz. That word cloud is a buzzword for the spiritual birds, the so-called UFOs, the chariots, and all our enemies, who are chiefly beginning with Esau, Edom, the white man, and all the other heathen nations, not Israel. And then even the 2/3, because that's what the Messiah said. And let's just get it real quick. Because the 2/3 of Israel are enemies as well, because they coming up against the will of the Most High, which is His commandments and the prophecies. Luke 19:27. But those my enemies, which would not that I should, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. So this is the Messiah saying, anyone that don't want the Messiah to reign over them, even 2/3 Israelites, like the Pharisees and Sadducees and all of the wicked 2/3 Israelites that was coming up against the Messiah, first starting with Israel and then all the other heathen nations, they don't want the righteousness of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, to reign over them. The Messiah said, what? Bring them here and slay them before me. This is prophetic. So going back, Revelation, 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And a few years ago, I had a prophetic dream about that. Pretty heavy, and man, it was pretty heavy. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So all our enemies are going to see, and they're going to weep. As it touched on it in, I know for sure in the book of the Apocrypha, I think maybe Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. You know what? Let's go ahead and get it real quick. I'm pretty sure it's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. Where we at? Wisdom of Solomon. Don't see it. Oh, there it is. I don't know why I didn't see it. Okay, yeah, verse 2. We'll read through it. We'll start at verse 1. Go ahead and touch on it real quick. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors, leading chiefly with Esau, Edom, us in slavery. They made no account of our labors, because there's so much that's been covered up. I had found out a couple years back that a brother came out, had created the whiskey Jack Daniels. I looked into the annual sales of Jack Daniels every year. It's over like $1 billion in annual sales that so-called white man Esau Edom makes off of Jack Daniels every year. That's crazy. And so we already know that the brother that created Jack Daniels, we know that his descendants, his family members, are reaping the benefits of that. That's just a small microcosm of what the white man has done to us, so-called white man has done to us. And that's a part of that, making no account of our labors, our inventions. He stole all of it. We created the car, the refrigerator truck, and they created household refrigerators from that brother's invention that made the refrigerator truck. His family, I'm gonna do research. I highly doubt that brother's family is receiving the money from that invention that every household got. A refrigerator. That's hundreds of billions, probably trillions of dollars. Just mind-boggling the lack of account of our labors that's been compensated, but it's going to be, soon enough. The Most High going to repay them. So verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Verse 3, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. So the salvation of the Israelites is going to be far exceedingly everything beyond anything that the heathen could ever dream of. And when they realize it, it's going to hit them like a ton of bricks, and they're going to be moaning and groaning, and they're going to be in great pain because they're like, damn, these people are the true chosen people. We thought that they were nothing. And then that's going to be it for them. It's going to be a rude, they're in for a rude awakening. Just like the days of Noah, when they didn't think rain was going to come down and flood them out. Same way now with the salvation. They look at us as nothing, and then they're going to be horrifically shocked at our salvation. So from there, we'll go to Isaiah. Let's go to Psalms. Let me see what I was going to refer to on that. Where we at? Psalms 27. And in the secret place of his tabernacle and his pavilion. So that word pavilion, because the Most High is going to cover us up, those of the elect, in his secret places, away from that fire. So covert, so covering up. Not openly acknowledged or displayed, covert. So when you look at the similar words right here, secret. So the first word is secret, not known or seen, or not meant to be known or seen by others. So the Most High don't want anybody else to know about his pavilion. Only those that he called and chose to come into his light, and that's the elect. So only the elect would be in his secret pavilion, secret chambers of those so-called UFOs, the chariots. And then let's see. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. So let me get Isaiah 26. I'm trying to see exactly what part I was trying to get. Isaiah 26 and 20. Yeah. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. Chambers is another word for room. Let's go ahead and get it. Chambers. Chamber, room, parlor, innermost or inward part, within. So the innermost part of Israel is the elect. It's the holy, like the tabernacle or the temple, or the ancient temple of the Most High during the time of the Levitical priesthood in Israel was the Holy of Holies, is where the Most High Ark of the Covenant was at, and that's where that's representative too, symbolic of the elect. They're the Holy of Holy of the nation of Israel, because Israel as a nation is the holy nation on the earth, but the holy of the holy people is the elect. So that's who's going to get beamed up into those chambers of the so-called UFOs, the chariots of the Most High. Excuse me. So, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. So that indignation is that righteous thermonuclear fire and chariot laser beam fire that he's going to bring upon the earth. And the elect are going to get beamed up. The Most High say, come, my people. And he's going to protect the elect. That's found in the book of life, as we read. I think that was in Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. In the time of trouble. And then verse 21. For behold, the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth. That's pretty intense. The Most High coming out of his place It's about to be an incredible judgment like never before. Uh, Cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. And the slain are the Israelites. Excuse me. So over here in America, Babylon, of course, the slavery, the slaughter, and we got killed mercilessly by Esau Edom, so-called white man in slavery. But then, chiefly is how bad the Pilgrims, aka the Pilgrims, so-called white man, did the so-called Native American Indians, which is the Northern Kingdom. The Native American Indians, or the so-called, I mean not so-called, but the Gadites, Reubenites, and then also Puerto Ricans, so-called Puerto Ricans, who are the Ephraimites, and North, Central, and South America, all of the destroyed original inhabitants of the so-called Americas over here, Western Hemisphere, are the slain that Esau Edom cover, and so-called white man, they're gonna be able to cover the slain anymore, because all he say is what? Forget about the past. But he angry about any little thing anybody say, but he wants us to forget about his wicked, murderous deeds, which will not. The Most High is just suffering it for a temporary time, and then now in the end, the Most High is going to come out of his place and destroy this merciless beast for all of his wickedness. So Amos, let me see. Let's go back to Psalms real quick. Psalms 27. And all of this from just one verse I read, one precept, Psalms 27 and 5. So much edification come out of this verse right here that the Most High gave me. The water, Abba Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock. Let's go to Amos 9 and 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. The house of David, tabernacle of David, that's the elect. The house of David is the elect, and the remnant in the last days. And close up the breaches thereof, because we've been destroyed, but now we're going to get bound back up and healed again, and delivered. Those that are of the elect. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. And what happened? What was going on in the days of old when the house of David was built up, when David was ruling? He had who in subjection? The Edomites, so-called white man, Esau Edom. That they may possess the remnant of Edom. And so it's going to happen again. Nothing new under the sun, but it's going to be forever here. That they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, that doeth this. Behold, the days come. This is a future prophecy. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper. And we read that Esau Edom, that they made no account of our labors. We're the plowmen. That's labors are not being accounted for right now. So the plowman, we're going to overtake the reaper. The white man, all he does is reap everything that we do. Look at the sports and NFL, NBA, MLB, all of the money we make for this, all the money we make for these slave drivers, these plantation sports owners, and they're reaping. That's just a microcosm of what they've done on a grand scale. And the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. So when something melts, what causes things to melt? Fire, thermonuclear fire in this day. And the hills and the mountains and the hills here representing governments and kingdoms. All these other heathen that are reigning over us right now. So we'll go back to Psalms 27, and we'll go to verse 6. Hold on, I didn't go to Ephesians. Yeah, and upon a rock, he shall set me up upon a rock. At the end of verse 5 right there. Let me go to Ephesians. I think I didn't read that. 2 and 19. Now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners. These are the Israelites that were scattered amongst the heathen. And this letter is, as I read and as I broke down in my last video, what 2 Peter 3:1-2 proves that those letters are written to the lost Israelites that were scattered and began living like the heathen. So that's what it's talking about here in the proper context. Ephesians chapter 2:19. Now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints. So that the saints were the circumcision, those that knew that they were, those that never did fall away from knowing that they were Israelites. So now going after the lost Israelites and saying they are fellow citizens with the saints that already know that they're the saints that was in there, but they were wicked. A lot of them were wicked. Most of them were wicked, like the Pharisees and Sadducees. They knew that they were Israelites coming up against the Messiah, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets. The apostles and the prophets go hand in hand, but Christianity try to make the prophets different from the apostles, like the apostles went to go and open it up to the heathen, when that's a lie. Yahushua Mashiach himself being the chief cornerstone. So Yahushua is the chief cornerstone in which everything would be built. And then also, Yahushua's right-hand man is Peter. Let's see, give me 1 minute. Let me just type it in right quick. I thought I had that precept upon this rock. Yeah, Matthew 16:18. And this is the right-hand man of Yahushua that Yahushua was referencing right here. Matthew 16:18. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And the gates of hell chiefly is the so-called white race, the Esau Edomites. Excuse me. Yeah, so from there, we'll go ahead and go to Psalms 27:6. And it reads, and now shall mine head be lifted up above mine enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing praises unto the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And it's going to, when the elect get the victory over the beast and get beamed up into the chariots and have those harps, and then now it's time to sing and offer sacrifices to the Most High and celebrate. Because right now, and have that perpetual joy, because now we're in a perpetual state of mourning right now until it gets turned into joy and mirth. Psalms 34:19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, delivereth him out of them all. And final precept here, Daniel chapter 7 and verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. And that's the Israelites, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So the kingdom of heaven is a everlasting kingdom forever and ever. Our mourning is going to get turned into mirth and joy, perpetual joy and singing and gladness under the Most High power of Yahweh and through his only begotten Son, Yahushua. So, I just want to go ahead and share that with everyone. Hope this video was edifying. The water to the Most High power, Bahashem Yahushua, for the Rachah Kudash to make this video. To the next video, I say, Shalom.